Hey guys, welcome back. And today this is gonna be a more lighthearted rant, I think. It's not really gonna even be a rant. It's more of just gonna be like an overall just talk. And this one's just gonna be about high school in general, which is just one of those really funny I think high school is a really interesting time in everyone's life because it's just so unbelievably insane. Like there's so many things that happen. Like you're learning exactly how you want to, you know, exactly how you want to interact with the world. And this, see, here's the thing, that all of this is going to be completely unscripted because I kind of like to talk completely impromptu, off the wire, just say what I feel like saying. And I think the main thing I want to stress throughout this entire video is just how insane high school is and how it's just a microcosm of pretty much everybody's worst moments thrown together, and then you're expected to figure out what you're supposed to be doing with your life. And I mean, they kind of start you out with like that idea that you have to know what you're doing by the end of high school, and if you don't, then your entire life is screwed. So it's really this great time in your life. What do I call my Khajiit? Um, let's pick a very Khajiit name. That's pretty good. That's a Khajiit. And I think overall, when it comes to high school in general, a lot of the time everyone's confused. I mean, there's those kids that obviously like very much peak in high school where they're so adamant that yeah, no, everyone cares that I'm the sports guy. Everyone cares that I'm really good at catching a ball. But unless you really get a sponsorship that way with a high school or with a college, you're not earning anything from that. A lot of the time, it really just kind of makes you look less great later in life because you realize, oh, wait, I spent my entire high school doing this instead of working on my actual career path. So it's just this really interesting little thing where nobody really knows what they want to do. And some people do. Some people get ideas from their parents, but I think overall in high school you often experience experiences that heavily influence your behavior later on in life, and that give you like past embarrassments and experiences that heavily influence how you think. Um, and I think nobody from my school knows that I have this channel, so therefore we're just gonna say some really interesting stuff that happened there. Because there's some great stuff that happened. So I will, sir. I'm wondering which one I should start with because there are some pretty bad ones I could mention. Patrick, chill out, Patrick Stewart, please. And I think realistically, I might start out with the really bad one, which shaped my experiences for probably the rest of my life. To be honest, I'm gonna remember what happened for a long time. Essentially, what happened was I okay. Junior year homecoming game. This girl showed up at the end of junior year, and me, genuine dumbass, didn't understand social cues, and because I've always been told that I'm honest, I look like I'm a sophomore or a freshman, and I'm a senior. I look young. I don't act super old because I just say some silly things. I'm kind of a silly guy, and so I'm not the most known to be super just straight edge, mature, right? I'm mature, but I don't it's not obvious, right? And funnily enough, at the end of like the game, or at like during the game of like the freshman year game, or what the fuck am I talking about? The homecoming game. Uh, at the end or beginning of junior year, I was sitting up on the hill, and this one girl approaches me. I'd never seen her before, but I figured, you know what? This is the first time. I'll talk to this person, right? We're gonna call this one. Um, what should I call her? We'll call her Sarah, right? So she comes and approaches me, and I'm sitting here like, oh, cool. I've never been approached before. This is really cool. And she's like, hey, you're pretty cool. Wanna go talk? So we went and talked in the school, and we pretty much talked for about 2.5 hours, until after the game was done. And I went home really happy with what happened, right? And eventually we start talking, right? We really get talking, and I, start to hit it off. And I'm like, oh, dude, this is great. And around this time, I actually got like injured in gym class, so I was stuck at home. So there was pretty much nothing for me to do at home except for, like sit around and do nothing because my leg was severely injured. I could not move, or I could not move around. Like I had a severe ankle sprain. I walking I think the doctor said could like dislocate my ankle or something or whatever. So yeah, I was not allowed to walk. So I was basically just sitting at home doing absolutely nothing. And that's when, we really started to hit it off a little bit. It was to the point where we were like genuinely sending like face snaps and shit like that. I look back at this moment, I realized that's embarrassing as shit. I don't know why I was doing that, but that's just I guess that's just what I do. And so I'm I'm sitting here like really excited. Oh, my sister is crying. Wonderful. So I'm sitting here really excited, and I didn't really understand that I'm, you know, like not supposed to be, I don't know. Long story short, turns out she's a freshman. I'm a junior. She's a freshman. That's the big no-no in social circles, and just realistically in high school, that's kind of a no-no. And I realized that. And I don't think we were dating, but we were very close. Give it another week and we probably were. Well, we, I kind of talked to her, and I'm like, wait, so you're a freshman, right? And she's like, yeah. And you are? You're a sophomore, right? And I'm like, no, I'm a junior. And she's like, oh, I mean, that doesn't have to change anything. I said, yeah, it does. And I broke it off, right? She now here's the bad thing. She basically became an officer on the same FFA team as me, probably about 2 months later. So it was really awkward, but I think we're fine now. I mean, you know, it's fine. But prior to this, I was starting to realize that maybe I want to actually try and get in a relationship. It's junior year. I haven't even had a taste of it until then. I should probably try and do that. My grades are good enough. I'm not really even worried about any of that. I just kind of wanna try something, right? And so there's this one that I'm looking at who is also on the team. This was only a year ago, and I'm cringing at what I'm about to say. So I'm thinking, hey, I wonder, let's figure things out. So I'll give you four options. What do you think I did? A, went up and approached her and asked her, hey, want to go out? B, went up to her and asked her, hey, so how do you feel? C, went up to her and asked her, hey, like, you want to start talking? Or D, asked my quote unquote ex to ask her if she likes me. The answer is D. That's the I wouldn't say correct answer, but I would say that that is the answer of what I decided to do. I I essentially it was I remember it was like 7 o'clock at night. I was outside taking care of the animals, and I asked her, "Hey, can you just communicate with her and ask her what she thinks of me?" And she goes, I don't really know her very well, but I mean, I have her on Snapchat. But again, I've talked to her like twice, and I'm like, well, talk to her again, ask her if I could go back in time to change one thing, it would be to never do that, because I immediately, I got her. Hey, all right, go talk to her. Well, she went and talked to her. She went and texted her, and I should have taken a screenshot of that text because it was, in hindsight, really funny. Oh, my sister's crying again. Why is she crying? What's wrong with her? And so she essentially said, yeah, so she absolutely does not like think of you like that. She thinks that you're kind of odd, actually, and that you need to and that you seem like a good person, but you are really awkward, is essentially what she said. And that realistically kind of crushed me because I was not expecting that. That was brutal but honest. Now, am I 100% sure that that's not something that my actual friend fabricated? No, not 100% sure, but I don't doubt it. So I I essentially went to school the next day, really awkward because I tried to make sure that my friend relayed to her that I wasn't the one asking. She absolutely knew. She absolutely knows. We're still on the same team. I still see her daily. She absolutely knows that I was getting the middleman. But that doesn't change just how cringy, just how unbelievably cringeworthy that whole idea was. And again, I'm not even quite sure what compelled me to do that. That was one of the worst ideas I think I've ever had. Legitimately that I've ever had. Um I genuinely think that was probably the stupidest thing I've ever done. Socially. Socially. That was bad. Um I know I'm genuinely to this day so unbelievably I look back at that and I cringe. Physically physically I have a like gut reaction, a visceral reaction to that story because of just how horrifying it was. It might have been one of the worst things I've ever done, realistically. It was bad. And I personally think that I might have done better if I hadn't done that, actually. If I had gone up and asked her a question. And so essentially now now what I do whenever there's anybody that I actually have a semblance of liking, I kind of just sit around and wait for them to say something. Now, does that work? No. Has it ever worked? No. Will it ever work? Probably not. But there's always a hope, you know? There's always a hope. Um Personally, I don't think that I have enough charisma to actually go out and ask somebody, because then I kind of just stand there and with my mouth agape and go, and chances are that that's really not the winning move. So we're gonna avoid doing that, but we're gonna avoid doing that, likely. And the thing is, too, I'm not bad at the whole wingmanning thing. I'm just bad at doing it for myself. because I have a friend who, like a best friend, we've been friends since freshman year when I came to the district for the first time. And he essentially, like, I think beginning of junior year, end of sophomore year, I don't remember. Uh, he, had like this one girl, and I basically went up to her and I was like saying, "Oh yeah, he's a pretty good guy." She's like, "Yeah, I know he likes me. I don't know if I really want to go talk to him though." And I'm like, "Oh no, you should. He's a good guy, right?" And it worked. Like they've been dating for like 2 years now. So again, I'm not terrible at the whole wingman thing. I'm just really not great at the whole doing it for myself thing. I just think it's a skill issue on my part and a um, a pro of my skills and a con of my own abilities. Cause yeah, I don't know. It's rough. It's very rough. Now the main fear is that if I don't have experiences, and I'm actually just happy that I had an experience like what I had so far, because if I didn't have an experience like that, maybe I would try and do something like that later in life, and I'd end up even worse off. And I'm just kind of lucky that I didn't like royally screw up, you know? But, that's that. Hey, 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 not cool. Oh, oh, no, you're hurting me. Oh, bye, Patrick. Shoot, I'm really low. No, no, no. Why are you going after me? No, 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 no. Aw. Hey, dog. No, 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 no. On that note, again, I've really been talking for quite some time, so I think I'm gonna let you guys go. But that was the story of my absolutely horrific attempt at dating. So